Hey everybody, it's Kim White. It is Friday afternoon, a cool Friday afternoon here in Canada. And just wanted to come to you for a few minutes this afternoon and just talk to you a little bit about growing up. I know it's not a subject I truly enjoy talking about or hearing about, but it's really what the Lord is saying, I believe, this hour. You know, the world is changing quickly, and many of us are looking at callings in our lives that have not been realized yet. You know, and we hear a lot about God's timing. We hear a lot about, oh, God has a perfect time, a perfect season. But you know, the fact is, there are many people who have had huge callings on their lives and they've missed their season. They've missed their timing. And because they just simply didn't make themselves ready. They didn't make themselves available. They didn't make themselves ready. And so time passed by. And you know, I've had conversations with more than one person, many people actually, that have said to me, you know, I had a call on my life. God had a plan for my life and I missed it. I just simply missed it, right? I didn't apply myself. I didn't give my life to it. And the Lord's really been speaking to me a lot lately. And I know some of you will have a great chuckle about this. You'll think it's funny, but I'm quite serious at the moment, actually. The Lord has been talking to me a lot about, Kim, you know, it's time to grow up. It's time to put aside the things that consistently have stopped you over the years. It's time to let me do the work that I want to do in your life. You know, because to be honest with you guys, you know, I've spent my fair share of time, you know, thinking about the words that have been spoken over my life, the things that I would do, the places I would go, and all that. And you know, and I'm going to be 59 years old in a few weeks, and I look at my time and my life, and I think, like, you know, is that even going to happen? You know, like, why is it taking so long for this to happen, right? And the Holy Spirit was just kind of blunt with me the other day. I don't really like it when the Holy Spirit's blunt with me, but you know what? Some people you just got to be blunt with, and I'm one of those people. So he was blunt with me. And I heard these words. I don't even like saying them if you want to know the truth. But he said, I'm not going to give an adult-sized ministry to a baby. So God was basically saying to me, you know what, Kim? If you want to step into what I have for you, you're going to have to grow up, because you can't handle what I've got for you to do until you grow up. There's things that you have to stop being infantile in, and you need to start to grow in those areas. And it's not just talking about growing in the spirit, growing in the things of God, growing in the gifts and all that, of course, which is areas, you know, that we all can continue to grow and to learn in. But it's simply just stopping letting the things that constantly stop us, the things that constantly upset us, the things that constantly turn us back, the things that constantly shut us down, stopping letting those things affect us, right? I'll tell you what, I'll be honest with you, I'm easily affected by people's opinions of me. It breaks me. It breaks me if somebody is mad at me or doesn't like me or whatever. I have a hard time to get by it. And but you know what? I need to get by it. There's things that we need to get past. There's things that we have to step out in. You know, and it's easy to sit here in the car, in my nice warm heated car, looking at the beautiful St. John River and say that. But in all honesty, after I end this live stream, I've got to step into the words that I'm saying to you right now. And that's where the difficulty comes. The Lord reminded me of when my twins were just babies. And I had twin boys 3 weeks before my 40th birthday. They were 6 weeks early. And they told us when the boys were born, because they were early, you know, we could expect that maybe they wouldn't hit their milestones right when they should have. Of course, this was way before we actually knew that our boys were autistic, so we just assumed that was the reason why they were delayed in hitting the milestones. And Nicholas, the youngest twin, was not too far off. He was pretty exuberant. He was a go-getter. You know, he walked well within what would be considered a normal range. But after Nick was watching, there was months that went by, and it seemed that Sam just wanted to lay on the floor. He was several weeks later than Nick and rolling over, a couple months later than Nick and sitting up, and several months had gone by to the point that Sam was a year and a half heading towards 2, and he showed no interest in walking at all. And we still, of course, they would just say, oh, well, sometimes it takes longer. That 6 weeks doesn't seem like a lot in a whole span of life, but when it's, in 40 weeks, 6 weeks is a lot. So one of the things that we did with Sam was we pushed him. We pushed him to stand. We would take him and stand him up and walk him around the room, and we would move his legs and get him moving, because the strength was there in his legs and stuff. It just seemed that he had no interest at all in making those steps or in going forward. And he would cry, he would whine, and we'd sit him down. He'd throw a temper tantrum, but eventually one day we realized that rather than almost dragging the kid around the room, he was starting to put weight on his feet and his legs, and he was starting to make those walking motions himself. And he was probably, I would say, I'm thinking maybe almost 20 months. And then one day he was standing up by the coffee table and he just took a step. And from that moment on, he just kept walking. And the next thing we knew, he was, he was just walking around, and everything was fine. Now, he was also delayed in speech. He wasn't talking much or whatever. Nick was talking, but his speech wasn't really clear or whatever. But we just, of course, we didn't know anything about the autism. The thing is that we didn't settle. We didn't settle for our boys not being able, we didn't look at Sam and say, oh, that's okay. If you never ever want to walk your entire life, that's fine. No, we pushed him to take those steps. We worked at that. We worked on him. We went after that. We knew that was something he was supposed to do in his life, was walk. So we didn't settle for what Sam wanted. We made him do it, right? Who enjoys being pushed into doing something that you don't want to do, right? Certainly not me. And probably many of you could say the same thing. It's no fun when you're pushed into something that you're just, Sam was just really kind of scared. He was afraid to take the step. He didn't understand the whole concept of walking. He wasn't grasping it, of course, because he had neurological issues that we didn't even know about. But because we were persistent, he grasped it finally. And once he started walking, started running. So the Lord said to me, Kim, that's kind of how you are. It takes you a while. It's not because you're slow. It's just because sometimes you're scared. Sometimes you don't understand what I'm doing, and you're afraid to trust me. And you can't, if you don't trust God, you're not going to grow. If you don't trust the people that I've put in your life to help you, then you're not going to grow. So, it's time to trust the process. I saw something the other day, and I can't remember if it was by Dr. Hughes or by Apostle Mike Fram, but they said something about there's a prophecy, but after the prophecy there's a process, and there's a third part after that too. But it spoke to me, and because we've all had many things, many of us have had many things spoken in our lives, but we've not seen the fruition of it. And really for me, the Lord's saying, I can't move you along. I can't put you in a position to run if you haven't learned to crawl yet. So, maybe that's a word that you're going to receive today. Maybe you just think, who are you for telling me that I need to grow up? And I'm not telling anybody. I'm telling Kim White, she needs to grow up. It's time. Time's short. Look at our world. Jesus is coming soon. And we have a plan to fulfill every one of us in our lives, right? So all I'm saying, is receive this or don't, but just take a moment and ask the Lord, if there's areas in my life that I have been stubborn, that I've been obstinate, that I've been scared of or whatever, reveal it to me, and help me to overcome that and to have the courage to step forward. If you don't have people in your life, ask the Lord will give you people. He will give you people. He has consistently put people in my life that have that grace and have that patience and have that knowledge, and they have a link with the Holy Spirit that tells them, this is what I want for her, and you're going to help her. So just let God just work in you. Let's grow up so we can step into the big girl and the big boy ministry, that God has for us, and not miss it. I don't want to look back on my life someday and find out that I missed everything He had for me just because I was scared, just because I hadn't grown up and I wasn't willing to leave, you know, the diapers and the bottle behind, right? So anyway, that's kind of harsh, I know, right? I don't like to be harsh. I like to laugh and joke. But if God's saying it to me, I'm pretty sure there's maybe somebody else he's saying it to. So, well, I'm going to go home now. My husband's made a great supper. I'm going to go home and relax for the day, the evening. God bless you. Bye-bye. Oh, supper in New Brunswick is the same as dinner other places. Bye.